Hey, what's up, guys? Back from the deck profile here. Now, you guys, you know Grant. I don't even have to say his name. But he's here with Post Suda. What would you say this is?
This is the new Swordsoul, man. This is the new Swordsoul.
Yeah, some people
Swordsoul
call it,
Tenyi.
Deck fucks.
In my opinion, if you're not playing Tenyi with Swordsoul, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a deck or not.
Even the other variants that have like Horus that might, our buddy, Zach has played. He was still playing Tenyi monsters in there. You just change ratios for sure, like depending on what you're playing, but you always play Tenyis. Mm-hmm. With that being said, the new Tenyi is busted.
Now, fresh off of our fucking locals and the sneak preview, you guys saw my Saturday profile where I got first place.
Which I was cooked by in round one.
Relax. We did play round one. We had a good match though.
It was. Went to time.
Yeah. It did go to time. Yeah, dude. Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro. Appreciate you having me on, as always.
100%, dude. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it. And,
just talk to the people.
So
we wouldn't need it.
With the new support from Suda, there's a lot more Tenyi support. No Swordsoul support, but a lot more Tenyi support. So what does that mean for Swordsoul as a whole? It means that the power level may rise very minimally, but the consistency level is now far, far higher. You're going to be able to play through hand traps. You're going to be able to still end on the exact same boards. The new Tenyi stuff, all you're essentially able to do now is get a free body, cheat out the Link 4, which is a massive floodgate, and it also protects your guys as well. That's part of pretty much the Howard floodgates. And then can also summon a token that has the name, not the name, but it has the stats of the monster that it targets. Which is also busted. So
broken.
But again, your board changes just a little bit because you're earning on the Link 4 in addition to the stuff you are. You also do have Monk up pretty much like continuously in the deck throughout combos.
I like that card so much, dude.
You're definitely relying upon that the combos to get you into your names. Normal summon Taya, now that you can just special summon Ciara, even if you just control a worm, it doesn't have to be a non-effect monster, it's a non-effect or a worm. So that pseudo is kind of a Swordsoul card. But when that is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material is how you cheat out the Link 4.
One thing too, real quick before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to my boy YGOPD. He did just hit 2,000 subscribers. I've been watching it.
Busted.
Shout out to you, brother. Gone, dude. Yeah, that shit, dude.
So we'll start off with the Swordsoul portion of the deck. Before we hit the Tenyi stuff. So we start off, of course, standard 3, Ecclesia. This card's busted.
Need none say that.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, going first, going second. This card's busted. 3 Moye, pretty standard. Now in this deck, again, with the Ciara card, for some reason, if this were to get impermed or you stop getting the token, you can just summon Ciara from hand and continue to play without having to search it. Or if you have a circle, you can then search it and get something else out, and then it's just plussing, actually.
Dude.
So this is, and now with the new Tenyi stuff, you're actually plussing off of getting impermed and Veilered and interrupted on these, Moye and the Taya plays, which is kind of busted.
Yeah.
And 3 Longin, again, very standard.
Time.
You play all worms, so you got to play 3.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I've talked about in the past, this deck always puts you on a clock, too.
It does.
100%. Like, you just have to either win or you just lose, because if you go into time, you just immediately lose,
because of little and
90% of their deck just goes burn 12.
You got little long and big long.
Yeah.
Busted.
Long dong.
The long dong silver.
Shoot.
But, and then 2 Taya, people have always gone back and forth on 3 and 1 of this card. 2 is just the ratio. I think everyone pretty much agrees upon that 2 now. It's pretty much general consensus. Hasn't always been. We play 1 Summit. This card's busted.
Yeah, it is.
People don't play this card, and I just ask them why they don't play this card.
I have a Euro one.
This card is just insane. I've got Ultras, Supers. I love the original print of stuff, so I'm always going to play the original print.
I think I have an original Euro.
But Summit's busted. Always play Summit. 3 Emergence, again, very standard. Adds any Swordsoul. If you already control one, it's a worm. If you already control Synchro monster, you add a worm instead. It's how you add Protos.
Broken.
Sword Soul Blackout as a copy of
too.
1. We do play 1 copy of 9 Pillars. 9
Yeah,
Pillars
Grant
is just,
showed me this card, and I was like, dang long, right? You playing it? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, good.
I mean, yeah, I just feel like
Fucking
at this point, sadly, with no Baron, obviously Sword Soul is hurting from that aspect, so you're open more. But you do still need to end on a substantial board. And there's also still going to be situations where you just see that Moye and that Adhara. And, if they hit you and that's what you got, then that's what you got.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to be able to play in order to continue to play. And again, then just dump your Shathana, make it level 4, continue to play the game. So we do play those 2. That's the honorary Sword Soul stuff, and just the regular Sword Soul stuff. Now the Tenyi stuff. A lot more Tenyis. We got 3 Ashina. The best Tenyi still, by far. It's a big body. It's a level 7. It banishes
from deck.
It banishes itself to special from deck.
Yep.
So very good. And sadly, this is the one that locks you into worms. But now we really don't care about that.
Yeah.
2 Viz. Some people play 3.
Card's dark.
It's.
Shout out to Cody. He knows that joke.
I mean, the card itself is crap.
Yeah.
It's like going second. Going first, again, you're just having it because you got to have it in the deck. But it doesn't really do anything for you going first. And then 2 Adhara. And then 2 Saruya.
Let's go.
Broken.
Yeah, Saruya's crazy. If I had a 3rd Saruya, I will test it.
card just looks good,
I will
too.
pick a 3rd one up to test it. However, at this moment, I think with how the deck operates, 2 is perfectly fine. You also don't want to risk bricking on just like double Saruya and you still can't play. So it's a great extension card. It's a great follow-up card. And it can be a pseudo starter because it can get you into stuff if you synchro with it. So also kind of busted. And then 1 Shathana. You need the level 4. You can play the fire one if you wanted to. That way you have the targeting negate, which is kind of interesting. I just like Shathana. The number of times like you can trigger Shathana in the battle phase is just busted. And it really changes things and then shifts the momentum of the game quite a bit. Last worm is Protos. Pretty self-explanatory. This card is insanely busted.
Yeah.
And if you know what you're playing against, this can just give you sometimes the hard win.
Yep.
So pretty straightforward there. Those are the worms. For the new Tenyi cards.
I read this card and I was like, this is the custom card, isn't it?
2 Tenyi Infinity. This is as custom tailored to Tenyi as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
You're going to add Vessel or Circle. And then you can replace it to put out Flawless. Flawless is the one that draws you 2.
Yep.
So
Do you remember we just had that one? And we were just like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is neat,
You're
right?
like,
You're like, oh,
and
this
then
is
you're like,
neat.
oh,
And-
now it's good.
yeah, now
though.
it's like it
Yeah.
automatically comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
You don't even have to you don't even got to play 1 copy of it, and quite frankly, on your opponent's turn, being able to draw 2 and draw into possible more interruptions or hand traps is busted. Or follow up. Then 2 Circle, of course, and 2 Vessel. 2 and 2 of each, I feel like is totally fine. Now in the new build, you do play Vessel. Vessel is really, really strong a lot of the time now.
That's a send and add.
It's a send and add.
And add, yeah.
Send
Yeah,
and
insane.
Yeah.
The
It'll
fuck?
either send if you don't control a non-effect monster. If you do control a non-effect monster, it'll send and add.
Fucking, okay.
Yeah, busted.
Yeah.
So very good there in that sense as well. And then Circle just helps you dodge stuff. And
Emergency. Oh,
helps.
F.
Yeah, I mean it's specials
Yeah,
from the deck. Again, if
emergency.
you tribute a non-effect monster, so
Yeah.
actually it technically is now
Yeah, it
emergency.
is, yeah.
Especially now you'll be having more non-effect monsters on the board with more Tenyi stuff. For the non-engine, 3 Nibiru, pretty straightforward. Nibiru is crazy right
Yeah,
now.
it is.
Play Nibiru if you're going to play hand traps. 3 Ash, again very straightforward. I'll never play a deck without Ash because I feel like Ash just hits everything widely. Again, it hits Fiendsmith. I had an instance today where because I specifically ashed a card, they were unable to capitalize on what they could do next because they needed to dodge it, and Ash didn't allow them to dodge it. So in that situation, Ash really is helpful because it's much harder to dodge. And then 3 Imperm, again, very, very good. Doesn't play into talents. 2 Fua and 2 Ogre. I'm only going to play 2 Fua. Again, I really just don't want to see 2. And again, going first, if you see it, also not helpful. So for me, anything that's a 2 out of 3 that's not going to be helpful, I'll try to minimize it. But if you got to play it right now, because this card can just end decks like Malice, Fiendsmith, and other things. So protection-wise, we do play 2 Cross Out and a Called By. Again, pretty self-explanatory. You need to be able to protect from Nib in this deck pretty critically, because you don't have Baron anymore. You don't have that Omni Negate to put up.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
Bro,
RIP,
boxes of
dude.
that set that Baron first came out in are like $22 or something for that whole
Jesus
box.
Christ.
It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, to the wind set. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I
the
mean,
Speedroid
take
set.
a fucking, what's that, Fuki Padushi Piper, dude, or whatever the fuck, dude. Beth.
Oh Jesus! And then 2 talents, and then 2 desires to round that off, to round out the main deck. I feel like you should always play desires and Sword Soul. You're playing a lot of copies of everything, so you can afford to kind of go crazy a little bit and try to get as much advantage and as much board presence as you can. We will
Need it.
So that's the main deck, guys. To the extra deck, we do play one of the new Tenyi. This card is broken.
What is this one?
Flat out broken. So on summon, it's going to add any field spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Any?
You heard me right. Any field spell. The requirements for this card are a tuner and 1 non-tuner monster.
Oh, okay.
So this is a generic level 8 Synchro monster that adds any field spell. Do with that what you may. After that, if there is a non-effect monster on the field, which there will be, because of course you're playing Tenyis, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Cannot be targeted with card effects, so it's Dragoon, and then can make a second attack during the battle phase.
What's the stats?
3K on the
Oh,
attack
okay.
on that one.
All right.
0 defense for some reason.
Excellent.
But again, I'm sure there are going to be some decks that abuse this in combo.
Yeah.
One of them could be Centurion.
Yeah.
You know, I can definitely see them
Inserts
pulling
the
this into
Imperial
the R8.
Tombs.
Possibly.
We're just trying to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I will.
Facts. We're just trying to fucking do it. Right, babe? Yeah,
But to keep going along with that stuff, right, we're going to continue to play the 2 Chi-Jiao. Pretty standard. We play 1 Boxia. That is somewhat controversial.
that card's broken.
The reason I only play 1 Boxia is because I think people are too reliant on it.
Yeah, that's
I think
fine.
people immediately go to it, and I think they shorten their own combos by doing it. I think if you utilize it correctly, also there are ways of recycling it in the deck, so you really only need 1.
Yeah. Shout out to Max, too.
Chi-Jiao, you always want to go into Chi-Jiao,
Yeah.
because Chi-Jiao's great.
Yeah, card insane.
1 Danglong.
Yep.
Danglong's broken. I love the fact that Danglong is here.
I know,
Again, it's
dude.
back. Feels good.
It
1
does.
Sinister.
That card
This card is also
gross,
broken.
dude. Yeah.
It's going to burn you for 24 on summon. Special summon of a monster. Monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's also going to, and then banish them. And then it's going to banish a spell and trap card on activation and also burn you for 12. And they can also draw a card if you synchro summon while it's on the board.
Hyper Librarian F.
So that's pretty busted. Great cards. 1 Draco, also a very good card.
That's
Very
my boy,
solid.
dude. Yeah.
Gotta love Draco Berserker.
Yeah.
Just very good.
Worm, by the way.
1 Yazi. Yazi's busted.
Yep.
Also you need a level 7 target. 1 Shengying and 1 Shenshen. Now,
Yeah.
why the Shenshen?
Shen-Shen's broken.
A, it's a 9 target, but B, it's a floodgate that can put itself back on the board.
Yeah.
By banishing stuff that
By
you
the
can then
way-
recycle with Adhara, which you can then use in combo the same turn.
By the way, I still think about Virtual World all the time. So if you guys want a Virtual World list, I will bring you that. Just let me know. I just love that deck.
Another deck that does play around hand
It's
traps
just,
very
yeah,
well.
it's good, dude. I like that deck a lot.
So that's all the synchros for the deck. For the links, there's only 1 link in here that I'm not going to be playing, and that's just the 3rd monk for the link 4. This is going to be Sam Sahara.
Yeah.
or Shashadra, whatever
That's
that
for
it is.
trading,
But it's a Link 4 Tenyi. But everything else is pretty standard. You're going to play 2 Monk, 1 Shaman, and I like still playing 1 Draco Masters. Again, this makes...
you said this was the other dude?
Yeah, this is going to be the Link 4.
Yeah.
For sure. For the time being,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
pretty good what you can do as
They
well.
know.
Because you can also just cheat out Shaman or cheat out Draco. But Shaman, very good to special. Again, this makes Ashina, this makes Ashina be able to clear 3 cards, 2 of them non-targeting. This will non-targeting destroy 2 cards on ignition effect.
Yeah. Shout out Shrift, dude. I just missed playing that card in Pendulums, too.
And then Vishuddha will bounce, so that's how you clear 3. And that's all just off of 1 card. So that's the deck, guys.
Yeah.
Again, Tenyi Swordsoul Swordsoul's always been able to play through a lot. It's always been a great naturally going second deck as well. So I feel like this format, it gives you a little bit more flexibility. You always want to be able to play, which now at this point the deck will pretty much always be able to play. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Hopefully we can get some sort of Omni Negate here to come up and really get the deck back to where it should be.
Do it. Brother, I love you.
Sonny, appreciate you having me on
Absolutely,
as always, brother.
dude. 100%, dude. Yeah, guys, let me know if you guys want any deck profiles in the comments and whatever, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.